Good morning, everyone. We are continuing here in the Beis HaLevi's Maimah Bitachon, his classical essay on Bitachon, trusting and relying upon Hashem. And he writes over here in Beis, Misha Eino Beitech B'Hashem Umefachid, someone who doesn't trust in Hashem, and rather he fears, Ze'atzmai Garim Lo Lipol, that itself will cause a person Lipol to fall. Explains the Beis HaLevi, Va'averezu, this Aveira that we spoke about, the sin of not having true bitachon, Atzmai Garim Lo Lipol, it itself will cause a person to fall. Which means, even though you might find yourself in a situation which is uncomfortable, which is difficult, it doesn't mean that you have to fall into the sin or that you have to fall into the challenge and fail the challenge over here. If a person has bitachon, a person trusts in the Rabbi Shalom, they'll pull through. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is supporting you. You understand that and you know that. However, says the Beis HaLevi, that when a person is living a life that lacks real bitachon, so besides the fact, as we pointed out the other days, that it's an avera, that it's a sin to lack trust in Hashem, that itself will bring about one's downfall. K'maimer HaKosav, like it says in the verse in Mishlei, Cherdas Adam Yitain Moikesh, a person who sins, that itself will create the Moikesh, the snare, the trap for them. However, Ubeitech B'Hashem, someone who trusts in Hashem, Yisugav, he's the one that's going to be fortified, that's going to be strong. So it's clear over here in the pasuk that he's quoting in Mishlei, that if a person lacks bitachon, they're digging their own grave. They're putting their own pitfalls in front of them. A person who does have bitachon, that person walks around solid and fortified and certain and triumphant in his trust in the Rabbi Shalom. The Ayidei Sheyecharida Adam, because when a person trembles in fear, v'yefachin me'ezeh davar, and he is afraid of whatever, of anything, whatever that thing might be, v'lo batach b'Hashem, and he doesn't trust in Hashem, zehu atzmai gorim lo sheyinasein lefan of moikesh. This itself causes that the pitfall and the trap and the snare is right there in front of him. And this, the Beis HaLevi is Machadish, he adds a new idea. And that is that since that a person fears from the fright that is out there, since that a person is lacking the real bitachon, the trust in the Rabbi Shalom, rather they end up getting worried and they get nervous and they're fearful of what the future might bring, they create their own snare, they create things that never existed before. They bring about the dark clouds over their heads in order to bring down these stormy rain showers that are going to make their lives difficult. When a person becomes a worrier, when a person is fearful, when a person allows themselves to get into the realm of high anxiety, and they lose control over the abilities that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us innately in order to be secure, to be confident, to be close to the Rabbi Shalom, to rely upon him in all things, then a person brings about new manifestations of this fear in their life, and things that never existed before suddenly are going to exist. Similar to that which the Vilna Gaon writes in Mishlei elsewhere, where he speaks about the midah of simcha, the attribute of joy. And he says that if a person would be a Baal Simcha, if they would have real happiness in their life, they would never, ever get sick. And he writes over there that the majority of all of the ailments that afflict people, the stomach aches and the headaches and the body aches and the fevers and the colds and the different diseases and the like, you name it, says the Vilna Gaon, much of it is spawned on from a person's low level of trust, of belief, of happiness in their lot in life. It comes from a person who is internally worried and strained on the inside, and therefore it manifests itself, unfortunately, in sickness. And therefore, if a person would just be happy And the way to be happy is to be Beiteach B'Hashem, trust in the Ribbono Shel Olam. Then says the Vilna Gaon, you don't need doctors, you don't need medicine, you don't even need Tylenol because you're not going to get a headache. You have nothing at all to worry about. And therefore the Beis HaLevi seems to be writing a similar idea over here. Through one's lack of bitachon, through one's indulgence in fear and worry and anxiety, a person ends up bringing about things upon themselves that never existed before. However, ubeiteach b'Hashem, but if you trust in Hashem, Yisugav, you're going to be fortified. Even when you find yourself in the situation of difficulty, there's some challenge that's going on in your life, there is some perilous act that you are finding yourself in the midst of, Yiboteich b'Hashem, you trust in Hashem, you'll be safe from that. It's not a precursor, which means if you have bitachon, things aren't going to happen to you. It means even when you're in the midst of that thing itself, whatever that situation is that you're going through, could be right now. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you trust in me, I'll rescue you, I'll save you, I'll take you out of there. You will be Yisugav, you will be fortified. Have a wonderful day.